Okay, space detectives and Mars freaks and geeks. Today I've got something really cool to show you. I've got some close-ups of the Forbidden City that I've been showing on and off now for many years since I started this channel. And I've done many videos on this, and if you want to see some of the older ones, go to my channel main page here and then scroll down. Mars buildings and structures. There's a whole load of videos here about not only the Forbidden City here, like in this video, but also city areas in Jezero crater where the 2020 rover is also, okay? But today we're going to be looking at this one. Now, if you want to see some more views of this, there's this video here called Mars Forbidden City, Pyramids, Domes, and Multi-Views, okay? That just shows lots and lots of photographs of some of these structures from different areas in the crater, looking up at the mountain, okay? Looking across and looking up. But today we're going to be looking up from a much closer view, and also I've got some aerial views of it as well. I've got this map here, which is the Curiosity location map. And this gives you an idea of where the rover actually is now, or at least as of a few days ago, right? And it's sort of near the bottom of Gadis Vallis. Now, Gadis Vallis is the main valley pointing up towards, it's like a causeway. I call it a causeway because this was actually caused by a glacier many, many millions of years ago. And it's kind of cut this valley into the mountainside, going down the side of the mountain. I've also got this view here. Now, this is a really nice colour Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter image of the valley here, right? And the rover is approximately about here somewhere, right? Right in the middle of this valley, as it says here. Here's the valley. Now, this only goes up to Sol 4255 as of today. It's actually probably moved up a little bit since then, okay? Because today I'm going to be showing you this. Now, what I've got here is Sol 4264, and this is completely raw. I've got the actual Gigapan at the top. Now, this hasn't been enhanced in any way. It's just been stitched together. It's a stitched together panoramic. Now, this is the raw image here. Doesn't look that great in the raw image. It's a bit dark, it's a bit gloomy, but you can see all these things I'm about to show you up on this mountain. This is the valley going up. There's a big kind of mound at the bottom here, which the rover's just below here. But we've got this part of the Forbidden City here, and we can see in the raw image, this is completely raw, okay? No enhancement done to this whatsoever. There is a pyramid right here, what looks like a ruin of a sort of ziggurat or step pyramid next to another structure here. Now, it doesn't look that great because it's a bit too dark. So I've done a load of clips here, which you can check yourself, that correspond to that. And here is one. Now, you may need the hover zoom magnifier to look at some of these in more detail. What we have here is a pyramidal structure, multiple structures around it and in front of it, leading up to it, and then another long walled structure here with a rectangular part here. Okay, so we have here, you can see this pointed structure here. This is not natural because we have multiple structures next to it in a sort of step formation, and a large ruin of a structure with a long wall here going along and back here. So we have the pyramidal structure here, the structure next to it, and there's also another view of it over here, a bit further back, but this is more contrast in this one. You can see it there. Let's move over. There's another view of it here, a bit further back again. Different levels of zoom here. And I've sharpened these up a bit just to try and bring some of these details out, but this is a long way off, bear that in mind. But it's the closest we've been to these structures so far, which is why I'm doing an update on these, because we haven't seen them this close before. And then there's this part of the valley, on the left of the valley, as you look up, we have these here. We have a ruin structure here, here, and here, and a whole bunch of ruins up here, but they're a bit too small, a bit too far away, going up the slope, okay? Now, if you look at the enhanced color one, you can actually see what we're looking at a bit better, I think. This is crazy, because we've got a ruin here, a large ruin. I think I called it like a castle or something. It was some kind of large structure that was here, maybe a castle, maybe something similar like a fortress, right? It's been blown apart, but you can still see some of the structure here, right? And here, and this very odd looking thing here. Now, I've been showing these for years, but this is the closest we've ever got. Look at that. Do those look like natural structures? I don't think so. They look like ruins to me. I mean, this reminds me of some of the castles I've visited in the UK and around Europe and places like that. Ruined castles. You get quite a few in South Wales and stuff that look just like this, where they've been all blown apart and collapsed and stuff on the coast. So you know, it's pretty obvious what you're looking at. And when you have pyramids and things here as well, it's pretty obvious. There's another view here, slightly further back clip. This one's better, I think, actually. So we got different levels of zoom here with these different clips I've done. And you can get a really good idea, an overview of all these things. Here's a further back one as well, showing those three structures there. But there's also some crazy stuff on the mountain over to the left side of the valley here. Absolutely insane detail going on here. Those are steps and what look like ruins and stuff. I mean, a lot of it is natural, of course, but bear in mind, like I've said for many years, they built these structures out of the bedrock. They carved into it and then built onto it. They quarried the stone locally to build some of these things. And it all kind of blends in because it's all the same colour. It's made of the bedrock. So when you look at these things from above, like we have here, it all kind of looks the same because it's the same type of rock. So it's very hard to spot some of these structures from above, especially on this interactive location map that NASA put together here. And also that it's got this horrible red colour, which is not quite the right colour really. It's not really that red. But it does give you a good idea this of where the rover is and what we're looking at. And the structures we're actually seeing are up here, near the bottom of the image here. And this feature here corresponds to this here, okay? Which looks like a giant wall, but actually this is a natural structure carved out by the glacier. But there are artificial structures behind it up here. There's a couple here. There's like a ziggurat there and another ruin here. There's loads of them. You can see smaller ones as well in between. There's some pretty good detail here. This is kind of the closest we've been. And there's an overview. So we got the right big wall kind of thing here. And then we have that pointed ziggurat stroke pyramid just there, right? And then we have these dome parts at the bottom here. And then we have these three ruins on the left. This looks like part of one structure here. These are two ends of a structure, and the middle part is blown away. It's destroyed. Okay, so this looks like it was part of the same thing. So there would have been a huge kind of tower, possibly here, like a fortress, overlooking this valley, protecting it. Okay, and this may have also been a tower as well, or some kind of similar structure just here. Absolutely insane. I don't see how people could say this was a natural formation. It's obvious to me what we're looking at. In reality, a lot of this sand in the foreground, lower down, would be sort of dark greyish blue. Because when we look at the actual real colour. Now, this is a colour satellite image of the same valley. Now, the rover currently is around this spot here, just here. So we're right in the middle of this image, but nearer the top here. That's where the actual rover is now, just there. And this corresponds to this here, this long walled kind of part here, part of the valley, right? Just there. But look at the colours. Look at these colours. I'll go full screen with this. The colours in this are incredible. And this is what we would be seeing if the rover didn't have a stupid orange filter over all the images. We'd be seeing these deep blues and beautiful colours in the sand and rocks on the ground as it goes up the valley. Now, I've shown this before, but this is insane. When you start looking at this image, you're going to find all sorts of structures in the ground. I've marked some of them on here already. There's a building here, right? You can actually see the rooms here. Now, if I go back like this a minute, I'll show you with the magnifier. I've shown these before. You can see individual rooms here of a structure, a ruined structure here. There's also multiple structures in the ground. You can actually see rectangulars in the ground. There was one here. And you go over this side, there's multiple rectangles and squares in the ground here. But it's all kind of filled in with sand. There's sand drifted all over it. But of course, this sand moves around. It gets blown around and these dunes drift all over the place. So sometimes you look at this and it's uncovered like this. And then other times it'll be covered up. So depending on when the pictures were taken, you see different stuff on the ground. But look at these squares. I'll go back a bit and show you the magnifier. We've got multiple square structures in the ground, okay? Now, not all of these structures in the ground are unnatural. A lot of these are natural cracks and fissures and crystalline structures in the rock that were formed when this rock was actually born from Aeolis Mons, which is this mountain, which was actually a volcano, an active volcano at one point, okay? But these ones are squares. There's multiple squares in the ground, rectangles and squares. Okay, so there's structures all over this area. And you can see some of them sticking up from down here as pyramids, right? But you wouldn't spot this from above because, as I said before, this material is cut from bedrock here. So it's the same colour as the bedrock. So when you look at it from the satellite images, you can't make them out very well at all, some of these structures. You can with some of the ruins in the ground. You can see the squares, right? But some of the individual structures are quite hard to pick out because they're kind of camouflaged. All the Mars images are orange filters. And occasionally we get images like this, which aren't, from the high-rise camera on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. And this is what it really looks like. And it's absolutely incredible. The colours in here are amazing. What I'm amazed by is the fact that NASA still haven't even mentioned all this, which is why I coined it the Forbidden City when I first started showing this many years ago on my channel. But this is great. I mean, we should hopefully be going up higher up this valley. It'll probably go up this left side here, drive up here, and we'll get even closer views of some of these structures that I first showed on my channel about 10 years ago. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that, but it's moving very slowly up this mountain. It's a little bit treacherous. Some of these slopes are probably a bit dangerous, so it's got to pick a safe traverse up here, and it'll probably zigzag his way up gradually up this valley. Okay, and we should see some of these things like this pyramid here a bit closer, because this isn't the only one. This is one of them, all right? But there's loads of them up here, and I've shown over the years, I've shown multiple pyramids before, like in this video here. This is my Mars Forbidden City recent video I did, which was a short compilation of all the structures up on this mountain. This is the wall here of Gadis Valley, right? And the rover's over to the left of that now, and is going up this valley here. But you can see up on the mountain, you can see all these pyramids and structures up here. Here we are. There's domes. There's multiple domes. There's a pyramid here. There's a bunch of domes here. There's another ruined structure here, like a ziggurat. There's a big dome here. There's a pyramid here. There's a giant rectangular structure next to that pyramid. A lot of this stuff is ruined, right? But you can see what it is. And anyone who says that this is all natural is lying to you. Okay? NASA will not talk about this, which is exactly why he called it the Forbidden City. And you can see there's loads of weird things sticking up. We got multiple angles of this. As the rover moved around the crater near the bottom of Mount Sharp, we got multiple angles of these structures, and they've been confirmed from multiple angles. This is a great view, one of my favourites. You can see the big domes and ruins up on the mountain. This is what they look like from certain views. This is one of the best ones. We got a ziggurat, we got another ziggurat, we got a huge dome, and then we have the partially collapsed pyramid here with a structure behind it. And you'll see these from different angles as we go through here, right? And a bit closer here. I mean, this is taken from miles back, but the camera's zoomed in, so there's not a huge amount of detail, but you can see what these things are. You don't have to be zoomed right in to see that these are buildings, right? You can actually see that. This is that wall going up. This is Gadis Valley here. And these are some of the huge structures at the top. This is a single structure. We've got one here, one here. This was one structure, but it's been blown apart in the middle here. This would have been joined together. That's about almost a kilometre from there to there. Just to give you an idea of scale. Absolutely massive. And then we've got a sort of bent pyramid type structure here as well. There's loads of stuff here. Some of these views are going right back to the early days of the rover. Here's another view of that. And you've got the sewer outlet here. We've got a structure here in this one. This is much darker. Here's a negative. You can see these things pretty clearly. The quality of the images does kind of vary depending on how far back you are. And you get a lot of pixelation in some of them, obviously. But what we're seeing today in the new images is a much closer view of some of these things up on the mountain. It's just crazy, some of this stuff. And I could go through all of it, but there's multiple things. There's towers, there's all sorts. And there's pyramids like this one. This is a bit further over to the right of where we are today, which would be west of where we are. But this is quite a nice one. But not a great quality image of it. You've got to sort of clean it up quite a lot to actually see it. But in the negative, you can tell that that's not natural, right? Look at the shape. It's a pyramid. So we've got all sorts of things up on this mountain. And one of the best views is this one. I'll pause it. And you can see these, the dome here on the right, pyramid there. There's all sorts up here. But like I said, because it's all kind of the same colour, a lot of it kind of blends together and it's difficult to get a good shot of it. And it really depends on the angle of the sun and the shadows at the time. This is one of the most photographed areas in history on any planet. Here's a close-up of that pyramid. You can actually see on the pyramid where it's kind of collapsed down. You can see steps. It's a step pyramid. You can actually see the steps going up the side here. And we've got a structure next to it, rectangular. So there's no way that that is natural. Now this is one of the structures we're looking at today, just here, from another angle. You can see quite a lot of detail in this one. This is part of that ruined castle or fortress that I showed you to the left of the valley. There's also domes, there's all sorts of stuff. So I'm not going to show you all this now because this dome is insane. Look at this. Absolutely mental. Look at that. When you flip it to negative and look at it, you can see that these are artificial structures and some of them are huge. 400 feet high, some of these. That's about 300 feet high. Massive. Absolutely massive. And this is one of the best ones. I mean, that's just incredible. Gadis Valley, the approach to the Forbidden City. But with a magnifier, you're going to see a lot more than just looking at it on your screen. Okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I know a lot of you watch these videos, about 40%, 50% of you are not subscribed, so please subscribe. It won't cost you anything. And it's completely free, of course. So that will really help me out. So check out, as I said, check out the links below. Check out also that playlist that I showed you, the Mars Buildings playlist, and you'll see some of these things from multiple angles going back over a decade. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.